Hi everybody. I started this project off wanting to compare median incomes by state to the education levels in those states. And I was a little more surprised by my outcomes than I would have expected. But, we never know what's going to happen when we're comparing data. First thing I did was I went to the Census Bureau and pulled some data from their website. Um, as you can see, I pulled the median household income by state and educational attainment by state. And then with the education, there was a big sloppy mess going on, so I ended up creating my own file using their data and just copying and pasting for educational attainment by state for 2009 because that was the um, most up to date that I had for that data set. And then I did the same with median income, but I didn't use that file. I was just kind of messing around with it. So that's not really anything that we're going to worry about. And I brought my data into data source. The H08 is the median income, and the sheet is the sheet. I have them connected, as you can see here. I did it by the state, which was the easiest way that I could find to make that happen. Then I started playing with my sheets. I already have finished and completed work, so I'm going to kind of go through it in an overview, but I started a new sheet so that I can show you where I started and how I got there. I started with state, and I just double-clicked it, and it populated the map. How awesome is that? So I then wanted to have states colorized, so I did change that to color so that we could have a color and a filter for state as well. And if we're looking through here, they're making sure that there's nothing that shouldn't be there. And it looks like everything is good, so we're going to keep them. Apply. Okay. Now we have filters so we can change states around. Oh, wrong tool. Let's fix that so we can move this. Now we have all our states nice and outlined, and it shows us a nice map of colors of the different states. And then I went ahead and I took for my finished product, we're not going to go there. We're going to go to this particular one, which was, there we go, was giving me a hard time opening, which is our median income. And we pulled our median income from 2009, median income. And I believe I did, it didn't want to be nice to me. Median income, and I believe I did that by labels, but let's just put it there and see. Yep, there you go, labels. But then we have to change this because sum is not what we want. Sum is the wrong measurement. We want the median, so that we can get the median income and not the total of the incomes. And as you can see, it populated the map nicely with the income. I also used state as a label so that you could have the state in there. So in case you weren't sure which state you were looking at, boom, right there, it tells you Alaska, New Hampshire, South Carolina. And as we zoom in and zoom in, we can move this around, and you can see all the states have their median incomes. Now on my final slide, which was actually the first one I did, I wanted to have everything side by side. So we can get this to go back to there. We can open up the other sheet, and I hit Control and I selected all three of them at the same time, and I also brought them into label. And they labeled, unfortunately not as well as I would like, but they did label. These are also medians, so we need to change the measure on them to median and median and median. And we see now that we have the medians for the education levels for each. Now the problem I ran into, and I solved this by creating a new sheet with the data for just the education levels, is that you see these numbers and you know clearly that the thousands of dollars on top of the states is going to be the income levels, but you have no clue what those decimal numbers underneath the state names are. 9.10, 28.50, and 90.40. So in order to fix that, I created a bar graph sheet here, which shows the breakdown of median for high school education, your median for your advanced degree or more education, and the median for, oh, apparently I have the wrong median there. Is that bachelor's? I think I have advanced degree. Nope, I'm sorry. And your median for bachelor's degree. So you see bachelor's in the middle, advanced degree at the top, and your higher education. As you can see, I put state in columns for that. And then in rows, I put your education levels, all three of them, and changed them to median so that we could have the right averages. You know what? Thinking about it while I'm here, let's also take all three of those. And we're going to put label on them, and I think that should, oh, maybe not. It did not label them the way that I wanted, so we're going to take them out and leave my graph just the way it is. Okay, so that didn't work, but we're going to move on because I don't have a lot of time to finish this, and I want to make sure that you get a chance to see everything that I did. So then I took a sheet that I wanted to be able to show you the income specifically so that you could see that breakdown. And the first sheet that I actually did, again, has everything involved in it, and it shows you the median income. The top number is going to be your highest attained level, being above a graduate or a bachelor's degree, so anything master's degree and above. The middle number is your above a bachelor's degree is a bachelor's degree above. The one above it is advanced degree or above, and the one below it is people who graduated from high school. So in using that, you can see that there is a somewhat of a correlation, although not necessarily. But if you look at New York versus New Hampshire, you see clearly $53,864 median income, with the highest degree attained being at 8.8, whereas it's $68,790 for New Hampshire, with the highest degree being attained being at 12.9% of people obtaining something higher than a master's degree. So, you know, it does kind of equate out. There are a couple of exceptions to the rule, but I made a dashboard here to show you all the data. You get your income data here. You're going to have your data for education here, and then if you look below that, you're going to have the information combined here. And if you hover over it, it shows you each state by state. And it does give you the outline of what number means what when you're actually hovering over the data, as opposed to just looking at it as a visual. So when you hover over Michigan, you see Michigan has a median income of $49,000. Here's one of those ones that's not quite, on. They have a median 2009 advanced degree or more of 10.3, whereas New York has a higher median income with a lower advanced degree. What that's attained to, I'm not sure. I would have to dig way deeper in to figure that out. However, I had a really good time learning this and playing with this and putting these numbers together and making the statistics all work together, or not necessarily work together, but paint the picture of higher median income. In most cases does mean that the education level is higher in the area, although you can see in some cases it doesn't, because again, Wisconsin has a higher median income than Michigan, but lower attainment of an advanced degree. Well, I'm going to leave this here, and I hope you enjoyed this brief presentation and my brief overview as to how I arrived at this data, and look forward to hearing comments.